Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Friday, happy embossing day. We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Let me open up chat so I can say hellos all around. Annette and Kat and Wendy and Angel and Phil. And who else have I missed? I'm sure I've missed some folks. Madison, KK. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I was running a little behind because I was prepping, by the way. Please don't let me forget by the end of tonight to go over the materials for the upcoming 2 classes in the academy and to show you also um, some of the supplies that you're going to need and what we're going to be making. So please don't let me forget. You guys know me and my squirrel moments. Yes, yes. We all know me. So you know that I'm going to get sidetracked and then at the end of the night I'll say bye. And especially today, because today is game night at the academy, right? So don't forget that also. You know what? We were dusting today.
Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Jenny, we were dusting today, and I just realized that my camera has moved. Oh, well, you know what? We won't mess with it too much. That's okay. Okay, so welcome. Usually this is our Finish It Friday, but as I had mentioned earlier today, in case you missed that live, I did a very short live to share with you the brand new free digital that's available in the Facebook group. So make sure you go get your free digis. It's a 4-page digital, but I did a quick live and shared with you what we were going to be working on today and shared the fact that May 2024 is going to be a little bit different. So typically on Fridays, we do our Finish It Friday, where we just kind of work on things that we've been meaning to finish, that kind of thing. But for the month of May, in the Facebook group, Spectrum Art Creation Friends. If you're not a part of it, make sure you go join. But when you request to join, make sure that you answer the questions because otherwise your request is automatically denied. Okay. So make sure you answer those questions when you request to join. Anyway, in the Facebook group, I had put up a poll and I had asked you guys to vote on what you wanted to see. Because, some of you had said, hey, show us how to work with vellum, show us how to work with embossing folders, show us how to work with whatever. So I put some of those things in the poll and you guys voted on let's do embossing powders. That was your focus, which was perfect because we just got done working on the Diamond Dust and Rocks class, which partially had to do with some embossing techniques, right? So this kind of flowed right into it. And again, by demand, embossing powders were the winner in the poll. So that's what we're going to be working on Fridays. I'm going to be sharing with you techniques. In essence, this is kind of like one of the classes that I do in the academy where we do workshops and we work through techniques. However, this is going to be free for everyone and it's a little bit less, I don't want to say informal because the classes are not formal, but it's going to be more free flowing, not so structured in that sense that, we have certain techniques that we're going to get through. I'm going to just see how many we can cover. How's that? Because I love a lot of techniques with embossing powders. And I don't think that I would be able to cover them all, even with doing them every Friday for an entire month. So that's how many techniques I know and I love. So we'll just go through some. How's that? And of course, we're going to start with some easy ones and then work our way up. Again, I'm going to assume that there are folks out there that have never, ever used embossing powders because we were all new ones. And there was a time where I had never used an embossing powder. And I'm sure there's some out there too who are just starting out and maybe even deciding, is this something I want to get into? How does it work? What do I need? So we're going to go through all of that together. Okay. I'm just trying to catch up on chat really quick. Oh, you are so welcome, Kat. That's right. It was my pleasure to do that digital for you guys. You asked for it jokingly. Nobody, kind of put me on the spot. And I, of course, was happy to get it done for you guys. And not only did I do a mason jar, but I did like 4 pages worth of different jars. So you've got plenty of jars for a while. Hey, Ori. Oh, I don't know if Christy has flown out yet. Probably, right? Oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad you did. Okay, so let's get started because otherwise, guess what? We're not going to get through a lot. So if you want to play along, again, this morning I covered the materials that we would need in case you did want to play along. If you did not see that video, make sure you go back and watch it. But most importantly, hey, Wendy, make sure that you guys grab some stuff right now. So let me give you some stuff that we're going to need in case you want to play along because it's a lot of fun. You're going to need some water. So go ahead and get your water spritzer. It doesn't matter which one you grab. Um, if you have magicals, go ahead and grab some magicals.
Okay.
It does.
Her flight was delayed. She just got on the plane.
Oh, okay, good. Well, we'll be praying for her safe travel. It doesn't matter which magicals you have available. You can grab those. Or if you have some of the Cosmic Shimmer Pixie Bursts, you can use those. Or, of course, if you have the gorgeous color sparks from TCW, you can use those as well. So, whatever you have in that range. Of course, some kind of a mat that's heat resistant. I have my glass mat under here, but I like to cover it because I don't like you guys to have that ring on there with the glare. You're going to need some kind of adhesive. I'm going to be using the Spectrum Art Creations decoupage and sealing glue, as well as the Tombow Mono Glue Stick. Anything that I'm showing, by the way, is available from our online store. Of course, we're going to need embossing powders. Now, what embossing powders you want to use is whatever you have in your stash. Again, if you do not have any, we have tons available. I'm going to be using some Ranger. I'm going to be using some Wow. I'm going to be using some, I think those are the ones that I picked. But again, whatever embossing powder you have, go ahead and grab those and we're going to play along with those. We're going to need some paper, of course. So grab some paper and let's get started. Let's just jump right in. How's that? So I have cut some paper just kind of in smaller pieces because what I plan to do, I think when we're done, I'm either going to cut them into ATCs or I'm going to make tags out of them. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with our very first technique. Now, the first technique is very, very fun. It's super simple too, but it is a really pretty one. Let me make sure I'm in frame. Am I in frame, guys? I think so, right? Okay, we are going to need a dry brush. Let me not forget that. So grab some kind of brush, any brush, just something to be able to remove anything we don't want. If you have an anti-static pouch, grab that too. Well, where is mine? Uh-oh. Well, I was playing and now I can't find my, oh, but you know what? That's okay. I don't have my anti-static pouch, but I do have my We Are Memory Keepers. So I could use that if I wanted to. What else are we going to need? We're going to need some water and we're going to need some magicals and embossing powders. So the first thing we're going to do.
She sent you a little gift.
Oh, you're too sweet. Thank you. You know, I thought I got rid of that heart. I'm so sure I did. I must have not saved. Hang on. Sorry, folks. Let me get rid of that live reaction heart. I know how annoying it is. Okay. It should be gone now. Fingers crossed that worked this time and we can jump right in. Again, for those of you watching this on the replay, we are going to be going through an entire month worth of techniques. So you can watch video 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. as they build up. So today is day number 1. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to spread our paper lightly. So just a light mist, okay, on the top. And the reason why we're doing that is to prevent our magicals, once we put them down, from going everywhere. If you spritz both sides, it does help a little bit with the warping. So you might want to do that as well. And then we're going to grab magicals. It doesn't matter what you use. They're all amazing. So just go for it. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's use our gorgeous color sparks. In this set, and there are multiple sets, We've got cerulean blue, lime green, and chartreuse. Beautiful colors. And we can use all, or we could use two. Again, they work pretty much the same way. All we're going to do is sprinkle here and there. Okay. Don't like overthink it and try to be like, magicals are magicals for a reason. They do what they do, right? And we just kind of stand back and love what they do and let them go wild as we watch what happens. So I'm just sprinkling here, and a little bit goes a long way. It doesn't look like a whole lot on screen. I know this, but it's about to get powerful. Watch. Ooh, do you see that? That little bit went a long way. Okay. Now, you can leave them as they are. If you love them, great. We can try and just close them off. If you want to mix them up a little bit, you most certainly can, to blend kind of thing. If you feel that you're going to need another layer, we can come back in with yet another layer. I forgot to put a paper towel underneath. I usually like to do a whole one. Do you know why? Because we're going to use some of them on our next. You'll see why it's always good to save your paper towels. Okay, there we go. All right, now that we've gotten that done, we're going to get our embossing powder, whatever color you choose, whatever color you have. Let's go with, what is this? This is called Vintage Champagne. Vintage Champagne. Gorgeous. And what we're going to do is, while it's actually wet, we're going to put some of our embossing powder directly right onto it. Just here. Oh, that was a lot. And there, and that's okay. Let me bring it in and zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what's happening. Can you see that? I didn't want to really lift it, but let me lift it anyway. Can you see the embossing powders, how they're swimming about? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and grab them. Hang on, there's a spot here that's kind of dry. We're going to grab them and we're going to seal them directly on. Now, if you have this type of heat gun, great. If you have the other type of heat tool, that's fine too. Actually, for this technique, I almost enjoy this. I know it's a little louder, but it goes a little faster. So I hope you guys don't mind that it's going to get a bit loud, okay? If it's too loud, let me know, and I can always switch to the other one. Oh, the reason why I like using this one, let me show you the difference. This heat gun, the air will come out and kind of disperse this way, right? So it doesn't really move much of anything. This one, however, helps you move stuff around. And although it's louder, for this, I like to use this because I like to move my magic. Once I have an area that I like this right here, I will go ahead and seal that by actually melting my embossing powders. One way to prevent warping, if warping is a big deal for you, is to heat from both sides. So if you heat from the top and the bottom, it will minimize your warping on your paper. However, if you're going to put that paper and back it up with something else, say, for example, you're going to back it up on a tag, or, because the back is going to get kind of messy. If you're going to back it up with something else, it's going to be fine. If you want it nice and flat, though, heat from both top and bottom, okay? So I'm heating from the bottom and I'm heating from the top, and that's going to minimize my warping. In my case, I don't really care, so I'm going to just use my other heat gun. But that's a trick also if you do not like that bend on your paper. One second. This is loud, so I don't want to scream over it. So again, I'll show you. KK has the question of what is the white stuff floating? That was my embossing powder. Okay. So you can see where it's still wet, but yet you can see where it's starting to set. So I need to melt that down so that it stays on permanently. Okay. Now, one way to heat your paper faster and to have minimal warping is to go ahead and allow the air. What makes it warp is that the air is not getting through, right? So it creates, the heat hits your table and then makes the paper buckle and bubble. One thing, and I know some people are very, very sensitive to hot stuff. Of course, you could use your tweezers, but I've discovered a really cool tool for bigger pieces or even smaller pieces. And that is this. I discovered this during our Diamond, Dust, and Rocks class. So this is meant for your shrinky dinks, right? It's part of the shrinky dink kit. But I found that because it has a mesh, right? And there's a flat side. So if you bought this from us, I'm going to give you another tip on how to use this tool. It has a flat side for you when you're doing your shrinky dinks to just kind of put your shrinky dinks underneath and flatten them. But if you notice, it also has this bubbly side. And if you lay it this way, the belly creates a gap. See that? Between your table, right? And your piece. So it also allows the heat to dissipate. So if you wanted to, you could also put this on your table to prevent warping. You can even hold it up because it doesn't get hot. And I think we pretty much melted everything. So there you go. So, hey, Bevy. Oh, thank you guys. Isn't that just gorgeous? And trust me, the camera does not do it justice. It is absolutely beautiful. And I know that the camera is washing it out, but you see that gorgeous shine and all those great colors behind it. And as simple as that, you'll be able to, of course, create amazing pieces. Let's do another one. Why don't we? So we got this one in blue. Let's go ahead and do one more because they're super fun, by the way. Once you get started, you're like, oh, what about this one? And what if I do that? And yeah, it's just super fun to do. What color shall we pick? So we've done our gorgeous color sparks. So let's go with, what shall we do? Should we do a sat or shall we do a tea and crumpets? Let's do, I don't know. How about you guys give me some colors? Do you want pinks? We did teals and greens here. So should we do some pinks, some purples, some yellow and greens? We've also got tea and crumpets over here,
Oh no.
which of course has amazing colors. Let's see, do I have any red? I see red and pink. So let's go with, I see a red in here. Well, this is kind of a red. It's called Berliner Fling Fuchsia. So let's look for that one. Lelos. Okay, I have a yellow. And I think I have a red in here. Kind of a red. Okay.
I'm always on team pink.
Team pink. Do I have anything pink? I'm sure I do. That's purple. I only grabbed a couple of colors, guys. I didn't grab. Nope. Past the Jam Jane. Oh, that's more of an orangey. And, oh, what is that? Nope. And this. Nope. And that. Nope. Oh, how about this one? This is what? Pinkies Up. Pink. Perfect. Okay, so we'll use these three. You can mix anything you want, though. Okay. Let's swap that out. Once again, we are going to wet front and back of our paper. And then without any thought, now these are the new ones, right? These are the older pods. The new ones have more powder in them, and they come with a shaker top, which is really nice because even if you leave it on your desk and you like don't cap it, it's not like if you sneeze or if you tip it over, everything's going to go flying, which can happen with the pods. Now with the pods, you can either tap them. You can poke holes in your tops, or you can use your fan brush. I like the fan brush because, it helps me not be too heavy-handed. This was what, the reddish color. So we're just gonna put some of that there. Let's go wild on the red. Why not? Ooh, that's gonna be powerful. And then we said some lelo or some yellow. And what yellow was this? Did I read? Nope, I didn't. Okay. It was Golden Aftel Strudel. All right, we're going to add more water and watch our magic happen. Ooh, pretty, pretty. Yes. Okay, so now we're going to grab the embossing powder. And do we want to use the same one or? We did, why not a gold? Because this one was silver, right? So let's do a gold. Do you have a gold? Yeah, I do. Oh, and that kind of works with the yellow, right? I think that'll look really nice. Again, you can either pinch it or you can tap it, whichever way you prefer. I'm just going to tap, tap, tap. Add a little bit more water. And then again, I'm going to go in with the high, fast gun. So just bear with me on the noise. If there's some areas like this right here where it hasn't broken up, you can break it up with your finger. And then, of course, don't waste any of it. And then bring your water here, bring it back, and kind of swirl it around, right? All right, here we go. Now, technically, you can say you do not have any controls over magicals, but you kind of do because you can freeze certain areas that you like, right? And then you can bring, if you're like, I still want to introduce another color, you can bring that color back in if you want to, right? So you can kind of move it back and forth and then freeze certain areas. If there are areas that are resisting you, you can use your finger or you can bring in your water again. You know, if you're like, oh, it's just not moving, it wants to go only on one specific channel, and then make it move again and then seal it again. Let me know if you can hear me over the heat gun, please. Can you guys still hear me when I talk and it's on? Or am I like screaming in your ear? Is this too loud? Can you guys hear me? I guess not, huh? I guess not. Okay. And so here we have one with gold now. And you can see how it creates those amazing pools and edges. Almost looks like alcohol inks, doesn't it? But of course, it's magicals and your embossing powders. So here is the teal one, and here is a pink one. If I wanted to add more gold, then I would. By the way, can you guys hear me at all when I have the heat tool on? Like at all? If I decide, I'm like, oh, you know what? I want to bring in some more red, some more pinks, or some more golds. Hang on, I'm just kind of flexing this page. Okay, I can always bring in more, right? But I think it looks really nice because it does have some gold little flecks here. See them? I know it's kind of hard to see them, but yeah, you can see them here. You can't hear anything. Okay, good. Thanks for letting me know because I was talking just to test it and nobody answered me. So I kind of figured that out. All right, so we've got gold and we've got silver, and we can now see how we can use magicals and water and create some really great backgrounds, right? Okay, so that would be technique number one. Let's go ahead and keep playing really quickly. We're going to use our embossing folders in combination with embossing powders. So grab an embossing folder, any at all will do. Don't throw this away, of course
No,
not.
no, the heat tool is running. It just says.
Huh?
No, the heat tool.
I know, it overpowers it, huh? That stinks. Because I hate for you guys to just sit there and listen to a heat gun, but unfortunately, I can't help that, right? I could use the other one. Maybe I will. I like the powerful one to kind of move stuff around, but if you only have the small tool, you can also just manually, use your tool and kind of turn your paper to kind of make those magicals flow, right? Okay, let's go ahead and work with some of those papers. So speaking of, can I have that bag, please? Yeah. Thank you. So we keep all of our painty papers, paper towels in a huge 5-gallon Ziploc bag. Okay. Now I have some set aside that are a lot more saturated because those are the ones that we use for that technique that Lisa Jameson shared with us with the
Paper towels.
With the paper towels and the stencils. But anyway, so these are the ones that have a little less color. So go ahead and look through your painty papers and just grab one. It doesn't matter which one. I mean, they're all super pretty. Ooh, look at that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like grays, golds, and purple. That's kind of neat. Very different from what we've done. We see a lot of teal because Madison loves teal. I see a lot of pink because I love pink. Ooh, look at this one. Oh, that's a baby wipe. That shouldn't be in here. I have a separate baby wipe bag. This one's got like every color under the sky. All right, let's just pick one and go because if not, we're going to be here all day looking at paper towels. Where's that one that I said was different? This one. It's kind of dark. It's really dark. That's okay. All right, grab your paper towel. It could have more, it could have less saturation. It doesn't matter. We're going to grab another piece of paper and we're going to adhere this on there. So this is going to do two things. Number one, it is going to give us some texture because paper towels always have texture to begin with, right? But we're going to make this very, very easy. We're going to at first move some of the stuff out of the way. Put this back. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me put these back where they belong so I do not. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our glue stick. That's just going to give us something to adhere onto. So just a light coat. Again, Tombow Mono glue sticks are a professional artist grade glue stick. So you want to work with something that has good properties when you're actually working with things that you are going to be inserting into journals or keeping long term, right? Not like the kiddie school projects. That's a whole different ball game. And then we're going to adhere this on to, and it doesn't have to be wrinkle free at all. Believe me, if it has holes like mine does, you're okay as well. So this is just something to kind of hold it in place. Then we're going to come in with our Spectrum Art Creations decoupaging and sealing glue, which dries clear and dries pretty much instantly and will allow us not only to, even though it's a sealing adhesive, it's still going to allow us to do techniques. You know what? I'm going to use my bigger brush. I am in the process, I usually end up, unless it's a small project, I've noticed that I end up cleaning my brush and then just coming in with a bigger brush. So I'm going to be working on getting us some wide mouth jars for our Spectrum glue.
Hi, Cindy.
Hey, Cindy. So now we're going to come in. What this glue is going to do, it is going to saturate and soak through the paper towel, and it's going to bond our paper towel to our tag or our paper, cardstock, whatever it is you're using, because it's going to adhere from the top and then it's going to soak through, seep through, and then also adhere it on the bottom. If you notice some places where it's loose here, do you see that? Where it's kind of like, here, let me bring it up and show you. See where it's loose? And you're like, oh no, that's okay. That's what this glue is going to do. We're going to apply it. It's going to absorb it. And then it's going to adhere it down. So we're not going to have anything that's not going to be adhered, okay? And you don't need a whole lot. Don't over soak it. Don't overdo it. Just enough to dampen it and it'll seep through, okay? Okay. I hope you guys are playing along, or at least that you're getting some inspirations, right? Now, SACs glue can be heated and dried instantly, so you don't have to wait. However, I did prep some other ones if we want to just move on and then come back to this one, just for the sake of time. But you can do this, at your leisure. You can go ahead and make a bunch of these because Lord knows, you see my bag, it's full, right? Yeah, we go through a lot of paper towels, but we hate to waste them because they're pretty and they can't be used. Make sure you get your corners. Okay, so once we've got that all glued down, and we can check it just to make sure it feels good. Again, paper towels are pretty resilient, so we don't have to worry too much about them breaking. And if they have little holes, they're okay. All right, there we go. So that, sorry, I forgot I had zoomed in. So now I'm out of screen. Okay. So once we've got that adhered, again, we can heat set this super quickly with our heat it tool, or we can go ahead and leave it off to dry, do some other ones, and then come back. So heating does not affect SACs glue at all. It's actually perfect, okay? But I'm going to leave this to air dry, and I'm going to bring some that I had done earlier, just kind of prep them really quick. Actually, I did like half pages. So I had done this one, and I just used 2 pieces here, and I had done this one. Oops, I didn't finish cleaning that one. I didn't really clean either one, but I have way too much extra. Save that for later. Okay, so I had done these 2, right? Or 4, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and I guess just cut these down really quick on my guillotine, just so I have a straight line. I will be back in 2 seconds while you guys are gluing yours. And there we go. Just super quick. I've cut them down to trim off any excess. And these are going to be awesome, just the way they are. Put your brush, make sure you don't forget it. Put it inside of a paper towel, because if we need it later, then we can reuse that and continue to work with it, right? So long as we keep it damp, we won't have any problems. Okay. Maybe. Oh, no. Oh, be careful. Yeah, there's a lot of horrible weather happening out there. Be very careful. Listen to the warnings and what they're telling you in your alerts, right? Okay. We're good. Does everybody have theirs adhered? Again, if you need a few seconds to dry it, then go ahead and take the time to dry it. It's no worries. I just had mine kind of pre-prepped, right? A little bit. And then we can always go back and do the other one, but we can actually go ahead and heat dry this without a problem. Okay. Now, we're going to find an embossing folder. And it doesn't matter. Whatever you have in your stash will work great. What shall we use, folks? Ooh, we've got some numbers. Numbers might look pretty cool. But let's try and find something a little more, I don't know, neutral? More, it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to see what strikes my fancy, basically. Oh, that's pretty too. I like them all. See the problem? I like embossing folders way too much. Let's go with something. I'm going to get there. Hang on. No. I guess we could do You know what? Oh, how about that? Is that too busy? That might be good. I'm trying to think of what would look good on camera as well, because I know when it's a little too busy, we could do a wood no, that's not. When it's a little too busy, then I know the camera just kind of doesn't like it, right? All right, let's see. Let's do either that one or maybe that one. Oh, I do have some tinny ones we could use, but we can do more than one, right? Okay, we're all there. We have an embossing folder. Now we're going to need our embossing pad, medium. Now we're going to look for the side that is pushed out, okay? So if you look at your embossing folder, let me see which one's easiest to see. Okay, the little, what would you call these, flowers on this side are out, right? And in here they're recessed, so they're going in. So you have to decide which side you like best. Do you want it to be more about the little star? You know what? This is not the best folder to show this in. Maybe this one? Okay, here we go. So here, obviously, the part that we want embossed, and it actually has the name on it, so it tells you kind of like what side's going to go up. Some of them do that for you, right? Hey, Lindy. This is going to push in, right?
Abril's here.
Hey, Abril. This is going to push down on your paper. This is going to then, the little cracks is going to be what
Hi,
is
Lindy.
standing up, right? Standing out. If you want it the other way, you would flip it this way, and then my squares would be the ones that would be sticking up, and this would be recessed. The bottom line is you want to put your embossing medium on the side that you want pushed out, okay? Not the background, but I maybe should have grabbed the
You
flower.
and your friend Gomez.
Hello. Hello, Yanina. Hello and welcome. Let me find a flower or something that's more obvious so I can explain this better, because I might just be confusing everybody. See, this is a flower, but it's really busy and it might not look good. Hang on. Something that's got symmetry. I mean, like an actual image. If I can show you with an
Hi,
image,
Tony.
it'll make a lot more sense. Aloha. No, could this work? This one might work. Yeah, this one could work a lot easier. Let me show you what I mean. Again, embossing folders have a debossed and an embossed side, right? So, for example, here, the circle. See the circle here in the center? Do you see that? It's either going to be out or it's going to be in. So this is out and this is in. So one is recessed, right? And the other one is going to be your embossing or debossing side. So you have to pick which side do you want on the background. If you want, play with both sides and find out. So in this case, what we're going to do is, again, I'm going to look for where those circles are pushed out and not in, which is going to be this side right here, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly run my embossing pad across it. And you can see it. I know it's kind of clear. Oh, this is kind of dry. I've been playing way too much. Hang on. Let me juice it up. Give me 1 second, guys. My embossing is dry, but I've been playing a lot. We've been doing a lot of stuff, even in class, right? Where is my... Oh, there's my pouch. Found it. That's funny how you find stuff when you are not looking for it, right? When you need it, you can't find it. This is the tonic, or I'm sorry, the Ranger scraper. And all I'm doing is kind of just working that medium into the pad. And let's see if it's any juicier now. You will be able to see it. See, now I can see it. You will be able to see it. It's going to glisten. Can you see it? Yeah, I think you can see it on camera, right? It's going to glisten wherever you put it. And that's how you can tell. Now, you don't want to be like squishing it in, because if you squeeze it in, then, well, you just cover the whole thing with embossing, right? So you have to be gentle. If you're heavy-handed, you can also use the brayer. We'll do that on the next one, and I'll show you what I mean. All right, everybody got their embossing folder nice and juicy? Yep. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, because sometimes some of the coolest things happen when they're not perfect. So don't sweat it. Let's go ahead and close that. And then I'm going to run it through my machine, which is off here to the side. I know you can't see it, but I'm sure you'll hear it. Excuse me, Madison, please. Here you go. Okay. So for embossing folders, all you need is, and your SACs, this is the switch. It's going to tell you what you need, whether it's a 3D embossing or just a textured impression. This is just a regular embossing folder. So you're going to need your platform, right? Then you're going to need you don't need the A plate, you need the bottom, and you need your sandwich, and then your top, and that should run through. If it doesn't want to take it, that means stop, right? We don't force it through. It won't actually run anyway. That's why I like the switch. It's kind of Maddie proof, you know, like you can't mess that one up. It just won't go through. It's like, nope. Okay. Hey, Belinda. Oh, no. No viruses. Is it going around? Eek, again. You know what? Did I? No, I did do it on the right side, right? Yes. Okay. I have to think for a second. Okay, we're going to grab a clean piece of paper, and then we're going to decide,
Hi, Belinda.
what do we want to sprinkle on there? We could do the same gold. We have it right next to us. Or we could do something else. Like a brown, maybe? Is that too dark? That might be dark. What do you guys think? That's copper, actually. We could do white. What else do I have? Silver pearl. Never used it. Let's use it. I have no idea what it looks like. Let's find out together. Some of these I haven't even opened. I know, shame on me, right? But that's what I'm saying. We grabbed
She
this.
said the window was really bad. There were something.
Oh, but you know, you can see I'm guilty as well. We get the stuff to play with. We love it, and then we don't. And it's like, shame on us, right? So, and again, you do not have to cover this all, by the way. If you want more of a grunge look, cover only certain areas. If you want the full-on look, then go by all means with the whole shebang, right? Let's leave some areas without. And again, if there's something that you do not like and you're like, wow, that's kind of full coverage. And how do you know that? You can see where there's powder, see? You might want to actually remove some of it and be like, nah, let's grunge this up. Let's make a hole here and maybe another hole here. Let's remove some off of there, you know? Play with it. Play with it. Maybe some off of here. Bring that in a bit. Tap it out. How about some off? Let's take this up a little bit more this way and fade it out. What would that look like? I have no clue, but you can see where I've taken off powder, right? You can clearly see the patches of where there is no powder. Let me take some off here as well. Okay, let's see what it looks like. You ready? Let's go. We're going to put that back into our jar because we don't waste any of that. And now we're going to heat set that. Since it is so loud, and I do apologize, I'm going to go with this tool. It's going to take a little longer, but you know what? I can bring it up now. It's going to take a little longer, but it is going to allow us to be able to talk. Okay, now you're going to see it go again for some people have never ever used embossing powders. You're going to see it go from that matte to whatever it is, but it's going to, and again, I've never used this one, so I don't know the look, but it's going to get that almost wet look. Here, let me show you. I hope, see it where it looks wet right there? It goes from that matte frosted look to a sheen. And so I'm going to continue following that to get that sheen and make sure that it's all embossed. Hey, Lori. You need this tutorial. Perfect. I'm glad to hear. So we're going to go through the entire month and we're going to do a whole lot of all kinds of techniques. So by the end of this month, you are going to have all kinds of amazing embossing powder techniques that you can come back to and play with time after time. Because I know what it's like, you know, we get the stuff and then you're like, oh, what do I do with this stuff? I mean, I know maybe one or two things I remember. Sure, that's kind of obvious, but what else can I do? So for some of you, this just might be a refresher so we don't forget. For some of you, this might be completely new and you've never seen it before. So yeah, either way, it's always good to take your stuff out and play. Did you create the background design too? Yes. So the background is just a paper towel, a used paper towel. So for this technique, for technique number 2, we're using an embossing folder with a used painty paper towel, something that we've used as a mop-up page. That's all these are here. While I'm drying that, I'll show you. See, I just glued that. These are just paper towels glued onto white paper. These are things that we use to mop up, like this one. Eventually, this one will end up in that pile once it gets more color. Probably by the end of tonight. That's actually pretty cool color. It is like a pearl. It's pretty neat. And again, you know, for those of you who say, oh, I have embossing folders and I don't know what to do with them. Well, here's yet another idea. Break out those embossing folders as well in combination with your embossing powders. And here we go. That is pretty stinking cool. I hope it shows on camera, but it's got like this super cool white pearl sheen to it, but only in certain places. Because remember, we left the hole here, we left the hole here, we left the hole here, and we left a whole area here. So not everywhere is it covered. It's subtle, but ever so pretty to give it some texture, right? And again, you can go heavier, you can go less, you can go more. Now, of course, once we cut this into a tag, we make our corners, it's going to look absolutely fabulous. Okay, so we've done that one. Let's go ahead and I have those, but let's see if this other one is almost dry. Oh, here's another one. See, that's going to become a gorgeous background as well someday. So to answer your question, this is what it is. It's a paper towel. That's all. And this one's even got holes in it. So it's still a little damp. Let's give it a quick dry and we'll play with this one. Because I think these colors are kind of cool. It's darker, that's for sure. And you can also give it additional colors. Like if you're like, you know, this one's kind of okay, but you know what? I wish it had some other colors. or the project that I'm working with also has blue in it, well, come on back with the blue, you know? Nothing says you can't change the color and add it to it, right? So, oh, we've only got an hour. Do not forget, for those of you in the Academy, those of you who are in green, who are Academy members, tonight is game night. So yay, get ready. We're going to play some fun stuff. Madison's got a new game for us too, so that's going to be fun. She tried it on her dad and I. We were like, okay, that's fun. So yes. We used a little bit of mono Tombow glue stick just to kind of hold it in at first in place to give us something for it not to be moving around. But then we came back in with Spectrum Art Creations decoupage and sealing glue. Okay. And that gets rid of all the bubbles and, you know, make sure that it's well adhered. It's not going anywhere. We're almost there. And again, the paper is bubbling because we wet it, of course. And now we just need to heat it from both sides, but I'm not really doing that because I just want to dry it so we can move on. I'm hoping to get 2 more. I was actually really hoping for 4 more, but at this rate, I don't know. And that's okay, you know, because if you're crafting along with me, then it's even better. Thank you, Angel. Angel's awesome. She's helping me answer questions, and that really, really helps. Thank you so much. Okay, so that feels pretty dry to me. And as you can see, like I mentioned, you can heat Spectrum Art Creations glue and it'll be fully matte and perfect. So no worries there. Okay. Now, one way to get this done really fast, if I don't want to go to the guillotine, is break out a nail file, right? You could use scissors, but if you want to, you can also just use your nail file. This one's just about habit.
Lori?
See? And it'll cut it perfect to fit. Of course, you can always take your scissors and do it that way too, but I find that to be pretty easy. Although when you're doing straight lines, your scissors are perfect, right, as well. So if you want to, just flip it over so you can see where you're at. If you don't have a nail file, and just follow along your edge and cut. If you are bad at cutting and you're like, man, I always miss. See, look, even I missed. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. Just a little smidge. Nope, you're not going to be able to see it. Right there. See it? Just a little bit. I can come back in with my file. So I know some people mind scraping though, so I try not to do a lot of scraping on camera. It's like chalkboard for some people, right? Mm-hmm. So I try not to. But of course, you can always turn your volume down as well. Anywho, I'm probably going to end up trimming this anyway because it's kind of big for a tag. So a lot of this is going to get trimmed. If it's little pieces like that, you can save them or not. I mean, you could do a cool collage with them, right? For sure. Again, not to worry if I have a little bit of overhang because I am going to end up trimming it anyway. Okay, so we were going to do what? We were going to do the same embossing folder, but then the other side. Oh, geez, who remembers what side I did? I did this side. Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to clean this up. By the way, when you use your embossing medium on anything, stamps, or your embossing folders, make sure you give them a good wipe. It doesn't take a whole lot. And usually, where is my cloth? There it is. Because if later on you were to come back and ink this and you do not get a good impression and you're like, why am I getting blotches? Well, check it. You might have left some of the medium in there. Okay. So always, it's not hard to clean and it doesn't harm anything at all. It's easy, super easy, but give it a good clean. Okay, now we're going to do this side instead. Now, one way that you can do it, I was mentioning to you, if you are heavy-handed, you can use a brayer. So you can take a brayer and run it through your embossing pad. So hang on, let me make sure because we're moving on to number 3. Number 3 is going to be, where did that other one go? The opposite of this. So instead of doing the background, which is what we did here, we're now going to do the actual elevated area, right? So again, if you look at it, you're going to see that it's got not the recessed, but the little knobs are sticking up. So you can come back in with your brayer and kind of put it on there and take a look at it and make sure that you can see. If you see dry areas, again, see that's dry. See how this is glistening, but this is not? If you see dry areas, you have the option to come back in and just hit those specific areas. In my case, I really don't care. I like that on and off, look. So we're going to leave it as is. Once again, make sure you clean your tools because you do not want to leave that on. And next time you're trying to apply paint and your paint is acting all weird or your other mediums and you're wondering what is going on, well, you left it on there, right? Let's cut this down some. It's too big. That might have been too small, but that's okay. That's okay. We're just playing. We're just playing. We're going to put that through our Civics switch. Once again, we don't need the A plate. All we need is our main piece plus our 2 to sandwich and run it through. By the way, we do have the switch in-house as well, if anybody's interested or has been thinking about it. So we also have the switch machines in stock. Ooh, that's going to be fun. What shall we use, guys? What color, what color, what color? We have done some kind of a white. So why don't we go... how about a mossy green? Is that too bright? Do we want to go darker, like a darker green? What else do I have? Oh, do we want to do a copper? Where was that copper? I had a copper, didn't I? Well, I've lost it. Copper. Yeah, let's do copper. It's exciting to see what's going to happen, right? I'm always like, ooh, what's going to happen there? What's going to happen here? And again, in this case, I think I'm going to go kind of here and there. I'm not even going to cover the whole thing. You notice that? Yeah, kind of. Copper, right, Belinda? See? Great minds think alike. Ooh, look at that. See? Oh, yeah. Do we need anywhere else? We can always add later too, by the way. That's why you have your dauber and that's why you have your pencil. Your embossing pencil and your dauber. So if later on you wanted to come in and hit only specific areas, you can use these, right? Or you can use your pad lightly. If there's anything that I think it's like, whoa, that is way saturated, I can come in and clean it. Like there's some that got on here. You see that? I don't want it on my elevated embossed areas. So I'm going to use my brush and just clean a little bit of that. And for the most part, I think that looks good. Let's see. Let's find out. Where are you? Here you are. Again, if it gets too hot and if it's getting warped, use your SACs silicone tray and let the heat pass through, which A is going to make it go faster, and B, it's going to not warp your paper nor burn your hands. Yeah, right? Kind of earthy tones, kind of dark. Ooh, look at that copper starting. Oh, I hope you guys can see it. It's starting to sparkle and shine. Move it around some. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Can you see where the copper's melting? Oh, so cool. So cool. There it goes. I love when it starts to kind of like, I always call it like crawling, right? Like it starts to walk almost. Oh, I hope you guys can see it. Probably not. Not until I hold it still. And of course, my camera's, I'll bring it up in a second. Oh, am I pixelated? Why do I look like I'm stuck? Uh-oh. Am I stuck? I hope not. On my end, it kind of looked pixelated and stuck. Let me know if I need to refresh. Oh, that's what I thought. Okay. If I need to refresh, I will. Hang on 2 seconds. Okay. No, go up, please. Thank you. All right, let me check my, as soon as I'm done with this, I'll check. Or actually, while I'm doing this, let me refresh. Hang on 2 seconds, guys. Any better? Let's see. I'll wait for my picture to come up. No, it's still blurry. What is happening? All right, I'll check my my servicing on 2 seconds just to make sure. Oh, that got hot on that corner. See? This is why I like this. Okay, thank you. I'll check on my end. This is so pretty. No, the heat gun?
There's still issues.
Yeah, let me see. Well, let me try and first look at my internet. I apologize. Not sure why. Okay, let's see. What is happening here? Okay, download is good. What about upload? Ooh, upload is terrible. Ooh, that's some bad upload. What is happening and why? Let me test it again. That's what's happening. That's why. My internet is horrible right now. Oh, I don't want to have to restart the router because then we'll lose 5-10 minutes, right? Oh, what to do, what to do. Yeah, it's not the heat tool. It's just my internet. I do not know why it just dropped. Oh, there we go. It's going back up. Okay. Let's hope that it stays stable. I don't know why. And you think with the amount of money that I pay for internet, we wouldn't have those issues, right? Okay. Anyway, let's take a look at it. See how pretty the copper looks? Ah, so pretty, right? Okay.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa. So same embossing folder, 2 totally different looks. one is recessed, and one is not. Okay.
So this is me, the weather too.
Now there, no, it could be. Now a couple of things that you can also do. If you use a gold or a copper, as you can see, it looks super pretty, or any kind of metallic, right? You can also use a clear. And what a clear does, it will actually darken the background and give you almost like a tone on tone look, almost like this one did, right? Although it's not clear, it's a satin. So it does something, but not a whole lot. However, if you use a clear one, it's going to give you a tone on tone look, which is really, really nice as well. Okay, but let's go ahead and move along because we need to hop on to more techniques. Let's see how many we can squeeze in. Okay, and so you can prep some ahead of time and have them ready to go. And then we're going to come back and do, I hope we have enough time to do some stuff to that too, because you can do even more, okay? All right, let's go ahead and move on to...
Can't wait for game night.
I know, right? Game night is so much fun. But playing is fun too, so... Okay, let's grab a white piece of paper, yeah? And let's go ahead and grab, thank you, Belinda. Grab yourself a stencil. Did I grab a stencil? No. Let me grab a stencil. Oh. I have to laugh at myself. You know, I have to laugh at myself because you know what that's like, right? You have 50 billion stencils, but when you want to find one, you're like, I don't know. Maybe not. Oh, maybe so. Anyway, I ended up finding a smaller one, and that's fine too, because we can cut that and make it into a smaller tag, which is what I wanted to do anyway. Okay, we're going to use our embossing pad directly, and we're going to just stamp it right on there, okay? If you want to use your Lisa Horton mat, sticky mat, perfect for this technique, right? Because then you know neither the paper nor the stencil are going to move, especially if you have a bigger stencil than your paper. That's where it really, really shines, right? But again, we need to move on because we've got like 40 minutes and we need to go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just directly push my pad through my stencil. Does it have to be perfect coverage? No, I don't even know why I'm covering the whole thing. I could just go ahead and like we've been doing here and there and anywhere, right? But we're here now, so let's go. Let's do this. Okay, something like that. We're going to remove that. Remember to clean your stencil. Again, you don't want to have wondering why, oh, look, I broke my stencil. Or maybe it was Madison. Either way, wah, that's all right. It still works, right? And you can look at it, and it's kind of hard to, yeah, it's almost impossible to see on camera, but you can see where you've inked. You can kind of see where it's at, right? Now we're going to grab another piece of paper, and we're going to add whatever we want. What do we want? Why don't we go with a brown? We have not done a brown at all. Actually, I haven't even used my brown. And this brown almost looks red. It looks like red clay. Maybe it dries different. You see why I'm using these tonight instead of my Wow? I always use Wow. Always. It's my favorite embossing brand. However, I had bought these such a long time ago, and I never use them, so shame on me. They've been there. And again, we don't have to cover everything if we don't want, right? We can do something like this. So let me do it that way and show you first. You could do something like that. That's kind of cool, right? Like a cracked wall almost. Or you could do your whole thing because we did ink it all up, right? So, what do we want to do, guys? More, less, leave a grunge look, do a full coverage. I don't know. Let's just go with something like this. How does that sound? Some areas here need a little more. And again, just light tap. Okay, I think that looks good. Right, Belinda? Yeah, I agree. Broken wall, why not? Or you can be more uniform, you know? Whatever is your style is perfect. Do more than one. Do various. Do multiples. All right, let's heat emboss that. Again, the heated tool has the advantage that it diffuses the heat. So if you notice, none of my embossing powder is really flying off. One of the things you have to be careful with the other guns is that it will tend to have a lot of flyaways because it's a much more powerful heat tool, right? But it does go a lot faster. So you kind of have to pick your battles there. Do you want it fast? Then use your other tool. You might lose some embossing powder, but that's okay too. You know what? Before that sets, I'm going to wipe some of this off. I don't want it like all squared up here. Kind of ended up squared off, and I don't want that. Yeah, there you go. That looks more, I don't know, like a torn wall here too. Okay, back to this. Or again, I can switch. You're not going to hear anything, but I'm going to go a lot faster. Here we go. If you don't cover it all, will it stay sticky? No. Nope. The embossing medium is not everlasting. It's a slow drying medium. So it gives you time to be talking like I'm doing now, yada, yada, yada. But it will eventually dry. And actually, you can even wipe it afterwards if you want to, because this will be melted on. This is not going anywhere. Good question. Excellent question. You can see, wow, how fast. And again, you can see how much quicker the heat gun is, you know, versus the heated tool, right? And you can see, again, for those of you who are new, where it goes from that matte, powdery look to your finished look, right? And it depends. Some are sheen, some are matte. It just depends which ones you're using, but you will always be able to see the difference where it, um, you know, becomes melted. Uh, the question is, cool, could you use embossing medium and then flocking? No, because flocking is, I'm sorry, medium, it's just something that's going to hold temporarily. Eventually it will dry. So your flocking would fall off, right? So for that, you need like sticky when dry from TCW, double-sided tape, um, Tim Holtz, what's it called, guys? That, oh gosh, it's going to come to me. No, it isn't. It's not going to come to me. Great question, but I can't think of the medium right now. Where is it? Oh, there you go. You can use sticky embossing powder, for example, right? While it's warm.
Or
So
it's just glue. Glossy glue.
gilding glue, yes, all of those. the other thing. This gets really hot. Be careful. Definitely use, one of your tools because it gets hot quickly. Okay, where are we? Let's get rid of this little extra that we had tapped off. Okay, so now we've got our embossed brick wall, okay? Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to grab 3 colors. We're going to create an ombre effect on this. Now, what color should we use, guys? What should we do for the ombre in the back? Do we want to do maybe yellows, blues, greens? Give me a color. Go. The first person that shouts it out, that's what we're going with. Unless you tell me purples. I don't think I would do purples. Purple and brown. It's not bad. Kind of Halloween-y though. No, we need an ombre. So I need tans and browns. Thank you. There we go. Tans and browns. Let's see what we've got in that. Tans and browns.
Green.
What do we have? Tans and browns.
Or is it black and gray, LOL?
Oh, yeah, we could have done that. I guess. It would have to be, but I need 3 colors. Okay, here's some tans and some kind of browns. How's that? We're going to do that. Let's do this. So we are going to start from lightest to darkest. So grab 3 colors that you want to play with.
That's reddish. Will not be brown.
That's okay. Even though it'll kind of blend in with that, but that's okay, guys. It's okay. It's just so happened I grabbed the stone stencil, but all we're doing is practicing the technique. We're not actually, if it turns out great. So all we're going to do is we're going to start somewhere here, and we're going to start by adding. I'm starting with antique linen. Again, there is no rhyme or reason. Nothing is rehearsed. We're just going with the flow. We're going to start blending in between the rocks. And I know it's going to be a little hard to see because at first it's going to be a very light color, but you can't see hopefully the difference between the yellow and the white up here. And again, it's because it's antique linen. It's a soft color. I'm going to bring it down to about half because that's going to ease my blending, right? So then I'm going to switch to my tea dye, which is going to be a little bit more brown. Oh, don't tell me this thing is sticking again. I just noticed it's sticking. I'm sorry, guys. See, this is why sometimes technology just works against you. And so you're going to notice that I'm going from the yellow into the tea dyed. I know you can barely see the yellow. It's there, though. Oh. Can you see it when I pull it far away? We probably should have used different colors, huh? Now you're not going to be able to see that on camera. Can you see it at all? I'm stuck. I'm completely stuck. Why, internet? Why? I'm so sorry, guys. There is nothing I can do except restart the router, and we just don't have time for it, right? You can see it? I mean, can you see the color?
Yes. No worries. Keep going. Belinda says.
We'll finish it up with this, and then I'll bring it up. But you know what? We can always change it too. I can add colors on top of that. So this is not a problem. And then we're going to come in with our rusty hinge.
I can.
Okay, which again, and then I'm going to go up a little bit to kind of blend it in. So basically you're creating an ombre. Again, it's kind of subtle. Let me see if I can add, let me dry this real quick. Actually, let me see if I can even, that's okay. Smooch some of it off. No, nothing's coming off. That's okay. Let me pick some other colors that are not so that we could create a pop. I mean, you can see it's pretty subtle. It's nice, but I want to create a big old pop. What are these? Let's grab these. Patina. Now it's kind of more like a teal blue and the dark blue. So we're going to go, let's put them right on top. Why not? Because why not? Right? Why not? Let's start with salvage patina. Hopefully this will show better on camera. And again, you do you, because you know what? There's no right and there's no wrong. And even having that yellow might look really cool now. See, sometimes when you keep layering, if you don't like something and you keep layering and layering, it will yield the most amazing results. And then you're like, whoa, I would have never came up with that on my own. But, you know, because you kept messing with it, you'll come up with the coolest of things. Hopefully now you can really see color, right? Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and start coming in with the blue. Now you'll notice I kind of focus on a third, third, and third, but then I'm going to grab whatever's left on my brush and I'm going to come up just a smidge to kind of start blurring those lines, right? And then we're going to go in with a dark color, which is Chip Sapphire. Holy mackerel. Let's live dangerously.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. And again, whatever is left on my brush, I'm going to bring up just a bit to start blending that ombre. Okay. Now, when we are done, we're going to grab a paper towel or a wipe, whatever you'd like. But since we have paper towels at hand, why not? We're going to spritz it just a little bit with water. And we're going to wipe. And it's going to get rid of whatever was on top of our bricks, thus revealing our gorgeous reddish brick in this case. It could have been any color, right? And now we have a super fun, oh, I forgot to wipe here. There we go. See, so you can wipe it, you know, right off because this is a resist. So anywhere, hey, Lindsay. So anywhere you see that there is
Hi, Lindsay.
ink, just go ahead and wipe it. It's melted plastic. It's basically plastic now. So you can wipe and then have that great ombre, you know, blend to it. I'll take pictures because I know, sadly, it doesn't show it all on camera the way it does in real life, especially with our camera being stubborn today, the way it is. I don't know why it's being so stubborn. I don't know. Let's see if it shows better on a photo. Nope. See, this still looks white on camera, but it's not. It's, wow, it looks completely white. How odd. It's totally teal.
Hi,
Sorry,
Irma.
I'll post pictures.
Hi,
Irma. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so that is our emboss resist with an ombre technique, right? Again, use whatever stencil you have because they're all going to look amazing. It's 7:30. Let's move on to our next technique, okay? For the next technique, which is going to be technique number 5, this one is really easy to do, but very pretty and very elegant, especially if you're doing any kind of like Christmas, come Christmas, or maybe like even I don't know, thank you notes or wedding invitations or engagement notices, anything like that. It could be very, very elegant. It can also be super cute if you do it in some bright colors. So for example, now I'm going to come back later and I'm going to die cut this. So I'm not too worried about it for now. I'm going to die cut it with one of my stitched border tags, or you can also, don't forget, use your Spectrum Art Creations angle cutting tool and do your own tags this way, right? But in this case, all we're going to do is we're going to grab a piece of paper or some of the Art by Marlene or Dinah tape. Let me get that. One second. Where are you? I just used it for class. You think I know where I put it? No, I don't know where I put it. Wow. We just used it for class like last weekend. For shame. We'll use a sticky note because I can't find my other stuff. Okay, and all we're going to do is we're going to decide. So say, for example, again, we'll do this as
Where did you put the tape?
I have no idea. Probably with the class still. Now, we'll use our SACs precision angle, right? Cutters. So you decide how big you want this tag to be and what kind of angle you would like. Half an inch, too small. 3/4 of an inch. Again, for this big of a tag, I think it's a little too small. We could go with an inch and start there and see how it looks, right? So let's do an inch. And if we don't like it, we can always go up. If we think, still too small, not steep enough of an angle, we'll come back and do some more. That's not bad. I like it. Not bad. We could do the 1.25. It's just 1/4 of an inch bigger. We could. What do you guys think? Oh, let's give it a little more. Just because we can. There. Okay, cool. All right. Now, let's get rid of those. And all we're going to do for this technique is we're going to place a sticky pad or a scrap piece of paper if that's what you like, or even better yet, if you can find your Art by Marlene's or your Dina Wakley tape. Then you decide how far do you want this to come. Do you want it to be like a half gold or maybe just a bottom corner gold? But in this case, we can do, I don't know, and you decide on the angle too. Let's play with that. Can you add a corner tool to my order, please? And thank you. Yeah, sure. Which one, Lindy? There are 2 sizes. So the first one goes from 1/4 of an inch to an inch, right? So it's great for like smaller things. And then the second goes from 1.25 all the way up to 2 inches. So if you were wanting to cut like a super steep angle, say for example,
She says both.
Both? Sure. Say for example, this was a huge, or maybe like I'm doing an album journal, a tag journal, then I probably want to use like my 2-inch, right? And that's going to give you like super huge angles. Does anybody remember? I think they're like $6 each, but I'll make sure I add you one of each. Okay. Thank you, Lindy. Don't forget to join us, by the way, everyone who is watching tomorrow for our live Saturday sale. Yeah. Okay.
Starting at 4.
Starting at 4. All right. So I'm going to choose to do just this bottom right here. Super easy technique, but again, super fun and very, very elegant. All we're going to do is grab our our embossing pad and press it down.
Cindy says again, what paper did you use to stencil and how are you able to wipe it?
Okay, so Cindy has a question in chat. She asked again, can I ask what paper did you use when you did the wall stencil? And it's just white paper, cardstock, mixed media, watercolor, whatever you've got. Paper is, and then how were you able to just wipe it? When the embossing powder melts, it becomes a resist, because what embossing powder is, guys, it's little shavings of plastic, basically, okay? So when you heat set it, oh God, I can see myself all blurry again. I'm so sorry, folks. Hopefully by tomorrow this will be fixed. When you heat it, what happens to plastic? It melts. And then, of course, when you have plastic, you can just wipe almost anything off of it, right? Unless it's something like alcohol inks. Then you wouldn't be able to wipe it unless you do it really fast. But for the most part, yeah, just about anything is going to be wipeable, especially your ink pads. Okay, so again, I'm just kind of, oops, I moved it. I'm sorry, I couldn't show you it. But I know you're not going to be able to see it, no way. But there is embossing medium across the bottom where I had masked with my sticky. And all we're going to do is pick a embossing powder that we like. You know what? We have copper out. I'm not going to complicate this.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. But again, you know, pick anything you want depending on what you're working with, or maybe, again, if you're using it for an invitation, a wedding, a gift, Christmas. You can even do different colors if you like, right? Again, when we're using embossing powder, for those of you who are new, it might look like, oh my gosh, she just dumped out the whole pad and wasted, I mean, all her powders and she wasted them. Well, they are not, because all we're going to do is shake it and it's going to come right off, and then we're going to dump that back in. Now, I can use my, my static pouch. So what I'm going to do is come in, and I know it's going to be kind of hard to see their area. See right there? Where I know I'm going to have to clean off just a little bit, just to make it look nice and straight, and clean off any excess. Very easy to do, see? Just a little bit. And then we're going to grab our embossing powder and put it right back into our jar. Now, when you have a new jar like this, you're going to notice that you're like, well, now I can't even fit my powder. Well, it's because it settles, right? So kind of just tamp it down a bit, and then you'll have enough room to put all of your powder back in. Otherwise, it won't fit. If it's a pretty full jar, it won't fit, which is kind of funny because you're like, wait, it just came out of that jar. Okay, I'm going to use my heavy heat gun. It's going to be loud, so you won't be able to hear me, but I'm going to do it for the sake of time to speed the process, okay? And voila, we have a super pretty, elegant tag. Now, there are areas here that you notice that you're like, oh, that's not as well covered as the rest of it. That's okay. You can either come back with your embossing pad, you can come in with your embossing dauber, or you can use your pencil. Either one of those are going to be perfect. So let's go ahead and, in this case, come in with our dauber. All I'm doing is adding more medium. It's just in a different delivery. This has got a felt tip. You always want to pounce and not necessarily rub, because it will tend to obviously remove your felt tip. So you want to be careful with that, and it'll last you forever and ever and ever and ever. Again, we can come back in, add some more to those areas that we felt were not necessarily covered to our liking. Okay. And I might have still missed some areas. Look at that. It's all right. And put it back in. We waste nothing. You use so very little of it that they'll last you forever, and they never go bad. That's the beauty about embossing powders, because they're plastic. Okay, so we got some coverage. Now, if you notice that there is a little bit, oh, I didn't even melt it all the way here. Oops. If you notice that there's a little bit of, what do I want to say? Uh, puckering here, You can remember it's plastic, so you can melt it and then make it move. So long as you can always reheat it. So now it's completely stable, right? It's never going to go anywhere. It's plastic. However, you can remelt it at any time applying heat and then move it around again and continue to layer. So let's say, for example, I need something to scratch. Okay. Let's say that, oh no, it got scratched or you missed something. All you have to do is either come back in and melt it, remelt it, or, again, add your medium and cover just those areas, especially if it's warm. If it's warm, you don't even need, and we cover all of this in that other class. So I'm sure for those of you who were in that class, you're probably like, we know this. But just sharing for those of you who were not in class, that you can always come back in, add additional layers, remelt it, remove it around, cover up holes or anything else that has been left behind. And if I melt this, you know what? I should do that. It's worth it. Taking this 5 seconds is going to take to show you what I mean. If you melt this, you can add the powder directly onto what's already melted. Let me show you what I mean. Again, once it becomes melted, it's back into liquid form, right? So look, let me move this out of the way so I don't knock it over. You know what? Let me switch guns so you guys can hear me, because I'm going to share something with you. Okay, what you want to do is have it all nice and hot. You want it, have it heated everywhere at the same time, okay? Again, it's melted hot plastic, which basically is fluid again. What's going to happen is anything you add to this, it's going to stick. So I'm going to heat it everywhere. Make sure it's nice and hot. While it is hot, I am going to add additional embossing powder, and it's going to stick directly onto itself. Now, when you're using colors like this, it's not really that big of a deal to add additional embossing medium. But when you're using something clear, it will get cloudy if you continue to add more product in between the layers. So this is a really good trick to know, especially if you're using anything clear, okay? Again, nice and hot everywhere. At least I hope so. It's kind of a big area and I'm trying to run. We got a few minutes. Okay. All right, so we've got this nice and heated, and now we're going to add the powder directly on to it again. And it is going to stick on to itself. Not everywhere. See, it wasn't heated enough. Should have used the other tool. But I know it's hard for you guys to hear me. Yeah, it wasn't hot enough. It needs to be pretty hot for it to stick everywhere. And when the layers get hot, then it's easier. It will actually melt faster too, because the underneath layers are already nice and warm, right? But you can see how you can continue to add even more powder and it'll stick onto itself. Oh, you know what? Hang on. I just noticed there were some strays here. There we go. And you can see how that puckering on the bottom has gone away because we've added more and more and more layers. I should use the other gun. Sorry, guys, you're not going to be able to hear me, but this is taking a while. Okay. And it's kind of funny because I can see it. It's so incredible. You can see it on camera, but if you see it in person, you can't even see that. That's interesting. You cannot see it in person. Very interesting. But we can do really fancy, smancy tags that way, right? Because then you can write your sentiment on here. You can even create, like I mentioned, extra layers. So what do I mean by that? I mean, let's say this was a Christmas tag. We should have used gold to turn it into a Christmas, but I'll show you what I mean. Let's say that this was a Christmas tag. So let's bring in some red. Use the same sticky. Decide what kind of a, right, we want on there. Like that thick is good, right? Could be thicker. We could do multiple colors too if we wanted to. We're going to put this directly over that other one. Say that other one. We're going to bring in either our dauber or our pad. You know what? Let's use our dauber. Might be a bit faster because it's a smaller area and less waste of product, right? Because we don't need to cover our sticky everywhere. Pounds, 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 pounds. While you're working with it, and even to store it, by the way, you know you can actually store this medium upside down so that it's always ready to go. Okay, so now when we remove that, we have a very clean line that we can go ahead and add product to. Now I can see right now that I missed something. So I'm going to come in with my pen. Wow, if I can open it. Woo! I'm going to come in with my pen and fill in that little bit that I can see that I missed. And the pen is great for sentiments. The pen is great for, you know, details or areas that you might have missed and want to add to. I think this is red. Yep, straight up red. So it's a little bright. Maybe not a Christmas red. Well, it could be. It could be. All right. I'm going to tap that out. See where I missed right there? I can come back in with the pen if I want to. Okay. But we shall see. Hey, Rochelle.
Hello.
Aloha. Okay. And hello to anybody else I've missed. I'm sorry if I've been missing folks.
Did I miss a lot?
Not a whole lot. No, you kind of did. It's okay. It's okay. Actually, we're 8 minutes away from being done. And you can always come back and rewatch, right? The replay. We could, Cindy, sure. Yeah. If we have enough time, I don't see why not. I love working with them. So you don't have to ask me twice, right? Let's see how much we can fit in here. And again, you can see then you can add some green, you can add, you know, whatever it is that you want. Again, if you wanted to do like a rainbow, if you wanted to do whatever, if you wanted to write, I don't know, Merry Christmas, why not, right? You can even do some decorative paper at the top and then do your embossing on the bottom. Again, I do not do calligraphy, so you will pardon my writing. I am not a fancy schmancy writer. Let's just do Mary. Why not? I should have wrote Mary and Bright. That would have been cool. Where is that gold? Didn't we have a gold? Yeah, here. Oh, we could have done green, I guess. Because we already had copper on the bottom. Again, we're going to use our brush to clean off any extra. Could have used our anti-static pouch to begin with to make it even easier. Clean enough. Again, we're just kind of quickly demoing. And then we're going to heat set that super quick. Ooh, can I still squeeze one more technique? I think so. I think so. We go really fast. The next one is really simple, so. And actually, we can even use some of the stuff we already done, so it'll go even faster. Okay, Mary. And then later on, I'll write Christmas. And this will be a great Christmas tag. And then I come in with some green. And make it all festive. Or of course you can write, again, if this was an invitation, you can write, their names, Chris and Susan, or RSVP, whatever it is that you want to write, but you can make some super elegant, fun tags this way as well. Okay, last technique we're going to see because we have got to get ready for game night at the Academy. I hope you guys will join us. Again, if you are not Academy members, we certainly hope you will join. Well, why? Not only because game nights are super fun, but it is exactly classes like this with techniques and all kinds of other albums and card making and stuff that we do in the Academy.
We also do journals.
Oh, we do everything in there for sure. Okay, so let's take a look back.
Mary and Bright sending you mentioned too.
Yeah, Mary and Bright, right? Okay, so let's look at which one of these we can use for what we're going to do next. Let's use this one because it's like kind of, well, it's not plain, but it's one of the most subtle ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, or we could use, where is that? Didn't we have some other ones we had glued? Yeah. We could also use one of these. We could. Let's leave that one be. And let's bring one of these instead. This one is, again, another recycled paper towel stuck to a, glued to a plain white cardstock. For this one, and you can do this, by the way, with even your decorative papers. It's a super fun, wild way to do things. Let's see what colors we haven't used. We have not used. What would look good with this? Let's create some contrast. Let's do a little bit of purple, right? Just a little bit. And then why don't we do a green? We could do yellow. Let's do green. Why not? Kind of like Mardi Gras colors. Why not? I just want you to be able to see some contrast on this, okay? So this one is super easy and a whole lot of fun. All you're going to do is you're going to grab your water. You're going to add some to your palm, right, to create a little pool. So I have a little pool of water in my hand. I'm going to dip my fingers, and then I'm simply going to drop some of that. Oh, here and there. That wasn't enough. Any more? This is Florida,
Mm-hmm.
All right, there we go. Now we've got some decent droplets. So all we're doing is creating some nice droplets. You can even moisten some of it in general. There we go. Okay, now I know you can't see a whole lot. Let me see if I can bring it up. See it? And then what we're going to do is you can either pinch it. Oops, sorry. You can either pinch it or you can go wild, okay? You can just kind of, now remember, whatever you do now, your powder is not going to come back. Now you can start like another jar if you want, of like mixed colors, but really whatever you put on here, it's not coming back into this jar. So go sparing. Don't waste a whole lot. You see that I'm not wasting, right? I'm adding some there. I'm going to add a little bit of this here and there as well. I don't care if it mixes. Why not? Who knows what's going to happen, right? Never know. some more up here. Yes, we do. Why not? Let's bring on the green. Let's bring on the green. Okay. I'm going to cap these because I know myself, I might knock them over. If you like it the way it is, great. If you want to tap out any of it, go ahead and tap it out. It's going to create those splatters. Again, this is now a mixture of green and purple. I don't really want it. I don't want it back in my jar. Of course not. Again, if you want to start a separate jar, you can do that. And I'm going to use my loud heat gun for the sake of time. And we're going to dry this. Owie. Hang on.
What happened?
It's a small piece of paper. Now, isn't that fun? We've got some awesome splatters. Now, if we want to add more, because obviously the green totally overtook my purple, although I really like it, I'm liking that green, I can come back in and add some more anywhere I want. So once again, I'm going to create a nice pool of water in my hand, and then I'm going to drop it. I mean, it's not like I'm really guiding it, to be honest with you, because it's kind of crazy, but there is some control up to a certain point. All right, and then over there maybe. If I want to create more of a, not so much that paint splatter, I can always come back in and add a little bit of water here and there. And then I will decide, oh no, purple, sorry. I will decide and I will control where I want that purple to stick. So like maybe over here, maybe over there, because we don't have enough purple, and over there. Okay. Again, oops, I forgot to put my paper underneath. I can leave it as it is. If I want that much purple, I can tap it or I can flick it right with my brush. Again, even now, if there's something I don't like, I don't have to keep it. I can decide, this is way too much purple right here. So I'm going to get rid of some of that. Fan it out maybe a little bit more. This splatter, I'm going to spread it a bit more. I think I like the other ones. I'm cool with those. Okay, let's heat set that. Now, again, remember one thing though, we did not use embossing medium. We're using water. What does that mean? It means that is not going to stay there. It's going to dry. Once it absorbs into the paper, that embossing powder is basically just powder again. It's just going to go anywhere. So you kind of work a little faster. And there we go. Okay. So now we've got some super cool splatters along with our painty background. So this is a great way to create great paint splatter looks and even mix and match colors. Just the only thing to remember once again is you're using water. So where we use the medium, we can pretty much, sit here and have a sip of coffee and then put it back down and then close our jars. Well, that's because it's slow drying medium. With water, you kind of got to work because if that water dries, especially since we're using a paper towel. Now, in this case, we have a little bit more time because we did use the SACs decoupage and sealing glue. So it does create a little bit of a barrier, right, for our medium to or our water to sit for a little bit longer. But if you're just using like a glue stick, that water is going to be absorbed into the paper towel because paper towels are meant to do that, or paper, period. Because you could be using, scrapbooking paper, right, that you have. So just make sure when you're using water that you work a little faster. Okay, so we have covered 6 techniques tonight, believe it or not. Oh my goodness. Oh, let me catch my breath. I'm sorry, I was kind of talking fast, but we wanted to get through as many techniques as possible. Again, I will post pictures in the Facebook group for you guys to see up close to these because I know they're not working on the camera, but we did do magicals and embossing powders. On both of these, and they almost look like alcohol inks now, which is super gorgeous. We did use the embossing folder as well with the, oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. No, this is the right one. With the paper towels, right? We did a reverse, so an emboss and a deboss as well. We also did the resist ombre technique, which was that one. And we did the fancy tag as well as the splatters. So we've covered quite a few techniques tonight. Thank goodness, because I have, like I said, tons more to come. And we definitely want to go ahead and continue to play with those. Now, remember, any of these, you can always come back in and add all kinds of other mediums that you'd like, whether it's inks. It'd be really cool in this one. Hang on, I'm going to do something. Okay, do you guys have any questions for me, by the way, while we're sitting here waiting? I can answer any questions that you might have. This is Lindy's Moonshadow Mists. So these are sepia based, but they are indeed delicious. So we can add a little bit more to that if we want to kind of age it some, or we can also, we can leave it like that, or we can, oh, look how pretty that product is. I'm not going to throw that away. We're going to use some of that on that. You can also come in with some water and display some of that and let it go into those grooves and create another yet stunning finish. See how it's just kind of going through the channels? So we can add other mediums to these as well. The embossing powders are always going to act as a resist because, again, they are plastic. All right, let me read questions. Looking forward to tomorrow's sale. Yes, please do not forget. Thank you, Annette, for the reminder. Do not forget to join us tomorrow starting at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for our live sales. We cover materials, everything you've seen here today, basically, from embossing folders to embossing powders to spray mixed media, Lindy's magicals, sparks, adhesives, tools. Everything is available at Spectrum Art Creations, and the live sales are that much fun because, well, you get to see the product live, you get to chat live, you get to ask questions, you get to also participate in all of the giveaways that we do. So we have a whole lot of fun. We do games, giveaways, but it's just a great way also to be part of the community and meet some new friends. Also, of course, don't forget to join the Facebook group, right? Because so much fun to be had there. There's all kinds of challenges going on as well. Ooh, don't forget that the Harry Potter challenge is still going on till tonight. So don't forget to participate in that, all you have to do is comment for entries into a bonus giveaway. I have got all of the giveaways done for the month of April. 10 gift cards are going to be given away for the month of April. So all those winners are already picked and selected. Might have to do a separate live for that. Maybe Sunday, really quick. I can do that. And so here, I mean, it's still wet in some areas. Actually, we can mop up those areas so we can call it done. And we
Michelle says
added
I'll be late for sure. I have
some
an
additional
meeting.
colors to that. And then what was the other thing I was going to say to you guys? Oh, for those of you who are in the academy, we have game night tonight. So yes, let's rock and roll. Interference inks. Hello. What color? Quickly, guys. Oh, is that? No, it's too much alike. But then again, well, it's going to be gold, actually. Remember, interference inks have a different color between white and black. So if you put it on black, it's going to be this color. If you put it on white, it's going to be this color. So let's see what we get. Why don't we?
Guess what?
Oh, yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah?
I'm playing with my doggy.
I heard.
You know?
We heard you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. And of course, they have the most gorgeous metallic finish to them. So let me dry that really quick. And I'll show you it. You're trying to catch up. It's okay. The video will be here for you guys. And just make sure you guys are ready for next week, right? Because we're going to do tons more techniques next Friday. Don't forget also on Tuesdays now, for the month of May, we're switching it up. We're doing master boards. So grab all of your scraps, some glue, whatever paper base you want, whether it's a cereal box or, whatever. And join us on Tuesdays for master boards.
Belinda says, are those colors on your website or the Lindy sprays?
Look at the
She's
interference
asking
inks.
for
Can you
sprays.
see the shimmer, the metallic? 1 second, baby. Can you see the metallic
Hi,
on them?
Auntie.
Hey, Auntie. I know we're almost ready to go into Academy night. Give me 2 seconds, Auntie. I'm going to do a little bit of this green, and then we're going to go.
About your website, Lindy Sprays.
Did we do this one? Did we do?
Can you answer Belinda what sprays in your website? In the website, Mama?
No, that's giving us gold. Belinda's question is, are the colors on your website of the Lindy sprays? I think so, Belinda. You mean the moon shadows? I can take a quick look and tell you. Oh, this is pink. Hang on. No. I do not want
housework done for today.
Yay! Although that does look kind of. Oh no, I'm not gonna lie. That does look nice.
Yes, Belinda said yes.
That looks really nice.
She said yes.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with that. Sorry.
She said yes.
Change my mind.
She said yes. Mama.
Why? Because we can.
She's asking what those.
Yes, honey. 1 second. 1 second. I'm playing. This is the hard part, right? When you're playing and you just want to keep going. Oh, that looks so good. That looks so good. Those are some gorgeous, happy colors. I'm going to blend just a little bit. I could use a white, but that's okay. We're just going to do it with a paper towel so I can save it for later. And we're going to blend that, and it's going to look awesome sauce. Oh my goodness. See the colors down here? They are stunning, but the metallic finish of the gorgeous Lisa Horton interference inks. Oh my gosh. Okay. So again, see what I mean? You can start with your embossing powders because they're always going to create that resist technique. So wherever you want to wipe it and you don't want it, you simply wipe it and it's going to come right off. Right? Of course, you can let it dry as well or heat set it.
Oh, thank you, Irma. Irma's looks so pretty.
Oh, thank you, Irma. But you can continue to play. You can continue to add stuff. We can now bring green magicals here. Remember, because this is embossed, whatever I spray on here, I just have to wipe off of this bottom part. And this is going to keep that gorgeous, maybe that green, the mountain green, or maybe, I don't know. What other green do we have?
Auntie says no
that
worries.
Emerald green.
Auntie says no worries. I've been cleaning my messy apartment.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us, guys. I wish I could stay and play, but we do have game night at the academy. So I am going to
See you there.
skedaddle. I hopefully will see you tomorrow for our Saturday sale. I hopefully will see you on Tuesday for our
Right,
master
Tuesday.
board. Yeah, Tuesday fun. And then, of course, again on Friday for some additional great embossing powder techniques.
Yep.
I hope you all have enjoyed it, and we will see
That
you
says good night.
again very soon. Good night, and thank you for joining us. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. We don't know.